I decided to go ahead and do a brief Venom spoiler talk, semi-review. I've already done the review on my website, soundedbettermyhead.com. Very little spoilers on there. Read it if you get a chance if you want. Basically, it seems like a lot of people are divided on this movie. People seem to either really dig it as kind of a good throwback superhero flick, and other people just think it's a throwback superhero flick in a bad way. But I thought it was just okay. The concept alone lost me. Venom's always been a pretty solid Spider-Man villain. The Lethal Protector storyline, where they tried to make him a hero, wasn't anything that great. It was kind of stupid, to be honest. And trying to translate that into the film was something I was not looking forward to. But overall, I don't think it was a bad movie. Pacing, especially in the beginning, was terrible. You had the whole spacecraft crash at the beginning. Good way to start it. A little bit of action, a little bit of mystery. And then it really just kind of drags. You just got the life and times of Eddie Brock. I mean, I know they want to establish who he was and his fiancee Anne and their relationship, and they were a cute couple. It was decent setup. And then the bottom falls out, which then you get this kind of still sort of longer stretch where Eddie's just kind of more or less hitting rock bottom. I know it had to be done, but the way they did it just dragged, and the pacing just felt off. Then you finally get to the fireworks factory, or basically him getting the symbiote, and that was okay. It's not much different than you would expect based on the trailers. And then you roll into probably the best part of the film. Not only just basically it's all the acting of Tom Hardy, but the interplay between Eddie Brock and Venom was probably the highlight of the movie. He's got Venom in his ear telling him stuff, and no one else can hear this, and he's arguing, and just his reactions to it. It got a little too corny sometimes, but for the most part, that humor worked. Venom's voice, though, it seemed like the more we talked, the more he sounded like a cartoon character, which would have been fantastic if this was a cartoon, but was being a movie, it kind of didn't always work. Him getting mad about being called a parasite. A parasite. It just sounds like a bad character from a cartoon show, or a good character. I don't know. But action was okay. You had the big chase sequence, which was odd because I know they wanted to bring him back to the lab, and these drones seemed like they're going to kill him. I kind of felt like they wanted him back alive, and then they specifically said they wanted him back alive. It still seemed like they were trying to kill him. But it was a decent action sequence. Not much there than you got from the different trailers. Him fighting the SWAT team was decent. A lot of it was kind of in the smoke, which I guess for your first full look at Venom, you should have actually flipped it. You should have not seen him at all, just him in the shadows for the first time he becomes Venom, and then you get the clear shot of him. But that's how they did it. The finale against him and Riot, and by the way, and the human host for Riot, Carlton Drake, was just mediocre. He wasn't particularly threatening, even though he was threatening. Even though you knew he was going to kill his assistant for betraying him, he wasn't threatening. He wasn't even like an evil businessman. He was just a guy with no morals, and just never really did anything that impressive. And then when it became Riot, the character design was decent. The big fight at the end was, of course, you got a big CGI monster versus CGI monster, or hero monster, and it looked so. It was actually briefer than it should have been. It just kind of, boom, he threw some weapons at him, they kind of fought a little bit, sound got pumped up, and they got separated, and then he blew up the rocket. It was just really quick. I don't know what else I expected out of it, but it was a little too quick. And also, as far as characters, the only other major character was Anne. And Michelle Williams was just wasted. She's, really good actress. She didn't get a lot to do here, and I swear they tried really hard to make her rip off of Gwen Stacy, even with the little skirt she had on. And you get, obviously she's a blonde character, but it's just like the way she's helping Venom in the end was so similar to the way that Gwen was trying to help Peter in Amazing Spider-Man 2. The best part with her, of course, was the brief appearance as Venom, which looked awesome. You know, it was a cool way to work that in to the movie. Something we probably never see anywhere else. So that was cool. And as everyone was expecting from the rumors, the mid-credit scene was Cletus Cassidy, and Cletus Cassidy was played by Woody Harrelson, which everyone predicted, but God, it was corny. I mean, a lot of people were into it, and they dug it, but he's got this fucking Ronald McDonald curly red wig on, and he's making these kind of constipated faces, trying to be, you know, creepy, and it was more laughable than it was supposed to be. I feel like maybe I was the one that felt the way because everyone else seemed pretty pumped up that saw the scene. Don't know how they're gonna roll that to the next film. I mean, in the comics, Venom basically had a baby symbiote that bonded with Cletus Cassidy, and that becomes Carnage. I don't know if they want to get into him having a baby. It's a little bit creepier because he's got this deep, macho, manly voice, and for him to be worried about is, you know, having a baby could be unintentionally funny, but don't really got a ton else to say about the movie. I just wanted to rip off some thoughts real quick that I couldn't get into in the non-spoiler review. Again, I said the movie was a little too corny sometimes, but for the most part the humor worked. The action was fairly good, except the ending was anticlimactic. And I mean, the only characters that really mattered was Eddie Brock, and great acting job by Tom Hardy, but everyone else was okay, but brought nothing like too spectacular to the table. And that's about all I got.